Yeah, and you're starting off. This is an exclusive look at the electoral fraud in Mexico. What are the papers making there of the confused and contentious situation?
We had a look at it, obviously, today in Focus. The reporters had some exclusive information, didn't they? So, and the papers there, though, say that the amount and variety of fraud that went on as things become clearer 10 days after the election is really, as La Jornada puts it, a monster with 1,000 heads. Perhaps the most headline-grabbing, of course, were those supermarket shelves that were emptied after people were supposedly had vouchers handed out to them by the winning PRI in exchange for their votes. But that's far from the only way that it happened, at least according to La Jornada. They talk about television channels having been paid for months and even years to essentially broadcast winning candidate Enrique Peña Nieto's campaign broadcasts as if they were news. They talk about voters handing in bundles being called vote tacos. That's bundles of votes being handed in at one person at one time all at once. And there's vote tamales, apparently, also in Mexico, which is free breakfasts. Tamales being handed out to people who will hand over their votes. The thing is, though, that the PRI, very established political party, of course, ran the country on its own for 70 years. The key, La Jornada said, is that they still have these local networks of very established local landowners or politicians who command a lot of local loyalty among often illiterate, often very poor people in rural areas. So they've managed to hold on to those votes without really any semblance of democracy, at least according to that newspaper, ever being installed in some of those rural areas because of the people's low education levels and their tendency to always follow the way that they have always voted. So it really shows this election isn't just a problem that's happened with this one politician at this one election in history, as they put it. It's a problem that goes back decades and essentially is a problem of low education levels in Mexico in poorer areas and, people not understanding how democracy is meant to work. So quite a depressing look there from La Jornada. Proceso, then, a left-wing magazine, says, is there any chance of these votes being looked at again now that evidence of vote buying has become so widespread? They say that the electoral fraud watchdog has said that, well, they admit that evidence of vote buying exists. It's not worth running the election again or indeed looking at any of the local results again after the partial recount that there has been. Their magazine reckons that's because the electoral fraud watchdog itself is compromised and accuses them of releasing biased statistics before the polls had even closed.
Now, Elena, we're going to skip a story at this point because reasons that will become apparent in a little while. We're going to go straight to North Korea now.
Oh, I want to talk about the Olympic weather and how it's been rained on.
Sing that one out. You can talk about North Korea
Right,
instead.
we're going to talk about North Korea, which I wanted to end on because it's most amusing. This is Disney, who are very upset with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un because of these pictures, which popped up over the in the last couple of days, which should show him cavorting with Disney characters dressed up in Disney uniforms there, who perform this show for Kim Jong-un. Now, Disney insists this was not approved by them, and they're not very keen on the idea at all. He, of course, apparently is a massive fan. Remember, you must run in the family. Remember, his brother was once stopped for having false identity papers trying to enter Japan to visit the Disney World there. So Disney, a big thing in North Korea. Foreign Policy magazine even suggests that the US should try it as a way of talking the North Koreans round. If diplomacy doesn't work, get Disney to make a film with subliminal messages in it, trying to tell Kim Jong-un how he should be running the country.
And talking of subliminal messages, Elena, you seem to have missed a couple of newspaper stories out because you've missed a couple of major ones. In fact, I can show you now, it's the first time I've ever showed Elena a newspaper. We're going to have a look at La Repubblica today. You can see on there the Uruguayan newspaper. They're headlining on the arrival this week of a certain Elena Casas, who apparently is moving in. And we can also show you another newspaper. This is in Liberación. This is the flip side of the story, where there's been a spike in depression amongst everyone at France 24 employees because we're saying goodbye to our newspaper reviewer. Elena Casas is leaving. She's starting to cry now. I knew she would.
Bless you. How long did you
That's
do
producer
that?
Kate who did those for you,
Oh,
so you can thank her afterwards. But Elena, it's been fantastic having you doing the newspapers. What are we going to miss? We're going to miss her charm. We're going to miss her wit. We're going to miss her smile in the morning. We're also going to miss her constant goings-on about French politics. From all the team here, Elena, from me, from Claire as well, from all the producers, the assistant producers, the filmmakers, the bosses, everyone, I can't mention everyone, but we'll miss you. Good luck in your new job. She's moving to Uruguay to work for another news agency, another news organisation. So best of luck from all of us.
Thank you.
Elena Casas, everybody. Coming up next here on France 24, business, a sour taste for blackberry.